Initiating moisture.
Holy shit. The Demon Slayer movie absolutely slaps. I had high expectations of this movie going into it, and they were exceeded. Let's just get right into it. So, first of all, as you would expect, the movie is absolutely beautiful, just truly stunning animation. The first, 25 seconds of the intro, I thought I went into the wrong theater because it looked like it was live action. The shit was gorgeous. Every single scene is a masterpiece. It is so good. And I really think seeing it in a theater really helped the experience because there's so much hype in this movie. This movie puts the throttle to the fucking floor and never lets up. This thing turns the bidet on full power and just blasts your asshole off with hype. It is extremely exciting at every point in the movie. Once you hit the second half, it never slows down for even a second, and it is such a gorgeous journey. Every fight, every single movement of the character, every attack is beautiful. I love the way they play with color in the movie. It's I can't even explain it. It's just so wonderful to look at. Just an orgasm for the eyes to process. It's so much passion clearly put into the animation here to make it look like this that I'm so happy to see be appreciated by so many. Because this is on another level. This shit is absolutely next level animation. I fucking love it. There is CG. There is CG. Right there, that's going to turn people off, I know. But I think the CG's used just fine. It's not glaring or fucking terrible. There is a bit of jank to it occasionally, but it's not like it's that big of a deal. It doesn't take you out of it or ruin the experience, especially when everything is as good as it is in this film. It's not anything that should be like, taking a gold star off of its report card because there's CG in the movie. It's not that big of a deal, and I already know people are going to make a big deal out of it when they see it. It's fucking fine. Just accept it. Stop looking for things to get angry about on Twitter. It's good. It's fucking beautiful. I can't praise the animation enough. Demon Slayer always gets credit for how beautiful it is, and for good reason, because it is truly incredible. And this movie amps it up to the next level. It is so good visually. So now let's get into the story. So this is an actual canon movie. My big complaint about anime movies and why I typically don't even bother seeing them is because they have no effect on the actual anime at all. It has absolutely no effect on the lore or the universe or anything for the most part. Like the My Hero movies have so little to do with the actual show. It's just so separated that it feels meaningless. It's just empty calories. Yeah, they're cool to look at, but what's the point when it doesn't really have much of an impact at all? This is extremely important. Everything that happens in this, it picks up right where the season ended off, and it continues the story, and then it gets you to the next point where it's clearly going to pick up on the next season. All of it is very important, canon, a very meaningful journey that has a lot of weight to it with a lot of important shit that happens, and I think that's extremely good. Because then it doesn't feel like you went on this journey that'll never be talked about or referenced or have any impact on the show. You got to go through this beautiful adventure and get to see where it all leads into the next season. It's great. So the story covers like a small arc in the manga, and I think this was the right call. I am so glad they decided to just condense that arc of the train into a movie instead of just making it like 5 or 6, 7 episodes in a season. I much prefer this because I think it worked really well. Yes, there wasn't a whole ton of time that you could devote to building up the Rengoku character, but I think they did an incredible job with the amount of time they had. By the end of the film, you fucking loved Rengoku, and you got to see a Hashira going all out. So I think they did the right thing here by taking that and turning it into probably one of the most hype anime movies I've ever seen. It was so enjoyable. So I don't think it was a bad call. I know some people said they'd prefer if they had just made it like in a season, made episodes for it to build it more, but I think this was much better. It allowed it to be much more fast-paced, and it still made you care for the characters and got you to where they wanted you to be in the story. Now, there's one thing I'd like to point out. This movie is super cheesy. They have some real generic anime shit for its dialogue. And now, Demon Slayer is an unapologetically shonen series. It never really strives to be something like deeper or more like, outside of the shonen realm. So it's not like a big complaint for me or anything. But I mean, this dialed that shit up to like a fucking level 100 here. The raid boss of generic shonen dialogue. Like when the villain is talking, he's like, I am a cartoonishly evil villain who likes to eat humans. I love the taste of humans because I am just evil demon. Oh, how could an evil demon not win when I'm so evil and you're just good for the sake of being good, you do-gooder? And your friend who is a powerful man is also a do-gooder against me, evil guy. Like, it's this crazy cartoonish villain dialogue that you'd hear like in 1960s superhero cartoons. It's very like, ooh, it makes you kind of cringe a little bit, but it's still fine in the context of the movie. But I can tell you, especially getting towards like the second, like getting into the second half, the latter half of it, it gets real on the nose with its dialogue. Like, friendship is power and evil is evil, that kind of shit. So that gets a little grating sometimes. One of my main complaints about Demon Slayer, like the actual show outside of the movie, was I feel like when the character has a trait, like a unique trait about them, they just overdo it and beat the fuck out of it. Like, one of the Hashira's trait will be that they're always distracted, so every time they're on screen, it's, oh, I'm distracted. You know, shit like that, where they just hammer home one thing about them, and that's all the character is. In the movie, they don't do that. Like Zenitsu in the show, every time he was on screen, he was crying or whining about something. In the movie, he does still do that, but since it's shorter, they don't just focus on that character trait of him. Now, don't get me wrong, he's fucking slobbering and crying a lot in the film, but it's like justified here. It's not just like, oh, Zenitsu's crying again, just classic Zenitsu. Here he does a lot more than that. He goes into his badass state, he has some really good moments, and he's like a good comic relief character in the movie as well. So I don't really have any complaints about any of that. Really, if you're interested in even considering seeing Demon Slayer, you've already watched the show. You know what to expect. And I can tell you for sure you will not be let down. So pop it into the moist meter, no surprise, 95%. A lot of the anime I've been rating recently has obviously been super high, and I really think it's because the anime has just been super fucking good. Like, I know a lot of people pointed out, like, I'm really generous with anime reviews, but it's just because it's really, really good currently. A lot of these shows are just fucking beautiful, really impressive works of art. And Demon Slayer is absolutely no exception. They went all out here, and it paid off. It's a wonderful film. It's really good. I really, really enjoyed it. Plus, when it comes to anime, if I don't like it, I just drop it. So I never end up moist metering anime I don't like in some way, which is why I haven't really had one that I've rated fucking lower than like a 60. I just wanted to get that out there since this is another anime review, which is a fucking high mark. I just don't have any complaints about it. There's easy things you can pick apart because, like I said, it's very unapologetically shonen, but you already know that going into the movie. It's Demon Slayer, and then it's a Demon Slayer movie. You know what to expect, and they deliver in a big, big way. It's incredible hype, it's incredible fun, so if you like Demon Slayer, you're gonna really enjoy the movie. That's about it. So yeah.